What's up everybody, Kevin from Palmetto Cats. In this video, we're testing fishing line under black lights to see which one glows the brightest. You know, using black lights for catfishing is getting more and more popular. People are wanting glowing rods, glowing lights, glowing everything. So a little while back, we did a glowing rod test and it got me thinking, we should test the line too to see which glows the brightest. In this video, I'll be testing 11 different fishing lines that have been recommended to me or that I've used in the past. I do realize there are a lot more monofilaments out there and there's no way that I could test them all. So if I don't get the one you fish with, get you some black lights and test it out. I'm using these two 30-watt black lights and you can get these on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. Okay, the first line up is the slime line. Slime line in orange. No rod to backlight the line. It's just one single strand so we can see which one is actually the brightest. Here's a close-up. Slime line 30-pound test. All right, that was the slime line orange. Not as bright as I thought it was gonna be, but that comes in at 0.55 millimeters, which as we go along, you'll see that's sort of the industry standard for 30-pound test monofilament. Next up is the Whisker Seeker line. You can already see that it has more orange color to it, although it's debatable whether or not it's glowing brighter. Let's get a close-up. Here's a close-up. Definitely up close, it looks a lot more colorful, a lot darker, a lot more rich. Again, these are the same test lines side by side. On the right is the slime line orange and on the left is the Whisker Seeker monofilament. 30-pound test. Wow, the Whisker Seeker was definitely more colorful, a more rich orange line than that slime line we just saw, and oddly enough the diameter is a shade smaller than the slime line at 0.45 millimeters. Okay, next up we have the Cast King 30-pound monofilament. This starts off our green or yellow lines. Looks like it might be a little brighter. Here's a close-up. Cast King monofilament. The Cast King was up next, and again, just like the Whisker Seeker, it was a shade smaller in diameter than the 0.55 industry standard. It's 0.45 millimeters. So I wonder if that's going to have an effect on how much glow these lines have. It does make sense that the thicker line would have more glow, but maybe later on you'll be surprised. Next is the STREN 30-pound high impact monofilament. And right off the bat, that STREN is glowing bright like a diamond. Right off the bat, that STREN is outperforming the glow of all these lines. It may not be as deep in color as this orange Whisker Seeker line, but it's definitely bright. And the black lights are just as far away from that line as the rest of the lines. So it's not because there's more black light on it or anything. I just want to make sure everybody is aware of that. Let's see a close-up. All right, here's a close-up. I think this has something to do with the thickness of the line. Even though they're all 30-pound tests, that STREN feels thicker. And so does this Whisker Seeker line. It feels thicker than the slime line, and the STREN feels thicker than the Cast King. Wow, that STREN kind of surprised me. Although it's not as rich in color as the other lines, it definitely pops out with the brightness. And it is the industry standard 0.55 millimeters. Next is the Reaction Tackle 30-pound monofilament, and that's this one right here. Definitely looks a lot more colorful up front than the other two green or yellow lines. It actually matches the color profile, like richness of this Whisker Seeker. And I keep going back to that because it just looks, the thickness of it, the richness of it makes it seem brighter to me, or more visible, I guess. Not brighter, but more visible. And then, so this reaction tackle has kind of the same quality on it. And it's pretty bright too. Up close, all these lines look a lot different. Let's step back a little bit. See, if we step back, definitely that STREN is glowing bright. So if you're fishing back from your line a good bit, that's what they look like. Let's get super close. Here's super close, right there. The reaction tackle, man, that's the brightest so far and rich in color. And it's an odd measurement. They come in at 0.523 millimeters. So again, a little shade under the industry standard, but not far off. Next up is the ANDE Monster line. I would say that it's really the only line that's yellow out of all of them. Definitely the orange is orange, but all the green fluorescent ones are a greenish color, not a yellow. Full disclosure, I do use ANDE Monster line on my reels. However, I'm not sponsored by them. I pay full price for all the line. And plus, it's not about what I think is brightest, it's about what you think is brightest. So there's the ANDE. By far, to me, up close, that one sticks out the brightest. It actually kind of matches up right here. It matches up good with that reaction tackle. And the difference is it feels a little thinner. Play a little tune here. Let's see what it looks like super close. All right, you can definitely see the yellow color up against the greens and the oranges. ANDE Monster line, all these are 30-pound test. The ANDE Monster line, my favorite and the only yellow monofilament we have, definitely glows pretty bright. I think just as bright as the reaction tackle, just a little different color. It does have that richness of that yellow that I like, and you'll hear me talk about that. I really like how colorful the line is because I believe that makes it more visible to the eye. And that comes in right at the industry standard, 0.55 millimeters. The next line is possibly the most popular line in the catfishing community right now, and that's the Berkley TRILENE Big Game monofilament. And that's this right here on the end. 30-pound test just like the others. I don't know. It's bright. It's definitely bright. Here's a wide view. Y'all, all of these are glowing pretty bright. I'd say the two lines that are glowing the least are the one on the far right, and that's the slime line, 30-pound monofilament orange. And then the third one, which is the King monofilament. But definitely these last two and that STREN from way far back are really, really blowing it up. Which one? Got a couple more to try out. Good old TRILENE Berkley Big Game. We all love it. It's been used forever. Definitely the most inexpensive line in the lineup. Pretty bright. It's really bright actually. I think it's probably one of the brightest ones we have up there. And this line is just a shade above the industry standard at 0.56 millimeters. All right, the next one is also slime line, but it's the slime line high vis green. And that's this one right here on the end. Definitely stands out in the green yellow lines. I don't know if it's much more or less than anything else. But let's get close up. Maybe we can tell a difference. Definitely up close, it stands out a good bit. That and the Whisker Seeker line. Again, all of these on the board right now are 30-pound test monofilament lines. The slime line green did not disappoint. Definitely a more rich and brighter color than its brother or its sister, the orange slime line. 0.55, it's just as thick as the industry standard, and it really pops out there. This last line is not 30-pound test. It is actually 20-pound test. It was sent to me by a friend that does a glow light fishing show on YouTube, Chunky Cat's Fishing, and you know he has a glowing rod set up and glowing line, so he sent me this so I can try it out. This is SUFFIX Elite, and this is what Chunky uses, 20-pound test. As you can see, it sticks out pretty good. Is it the brightest? No. Does it have something to do with the diameter of the line? We'll see. Here we go, up close. That's that SUFFIX Elite on the left. You can definitely tell it's not as bright as the rest, but it doesn't feel as thick either. Like this slime line feels really thick compared to that. Yeah. But this is 20-pound test, keep that in mind. So that might have something to do with why it doesn't glow as rich and dark as the rest of them. That SUFFIX Elite did the trick. It's only 20-pound test, but it came in at 0.45 millimeters, which is the same as the Whisker Seeker line. I thought that was interesting. All right, for you anglers that fish with braided line, this is PISCIFUN Lunker braid. It's actually 40-pound test, but as you can see, that braid glows just as bright as the monofilament. So if you're a braid guy or a braid girl and you want some glowing line, we're gonna test a few of those out for you too. Let's get a close-up. There you go. When you get close, you can tell that it's braided line, but from a distance, it definitely looks just like the monofilament lines. There's a good wide shot. I am super impressed by these braided lines. You know, not only are they bright, but they're definitely by nature a thinner diameter. The 40-pound Lunker braid from PISCIFUN, the yellow, came in at 0.30 millimeters. All right, this is Reaction Tackle braid, orange, obviously, and this is 80-pound test. So you can see that that really pops. That 80-pound braid really pops. Most guys that are using braid for catfish are using a heavier braided line than they would mono. So there you go. There's some 80-pound Reaction Tackle braid. Very bright. Man, that Reaction Tackle orange is something, isn't it? It's 80-pound test and it came in at 0.50 millimeters. So a shade under the industry standard, but over double the strength of the monofilament lines and definitely the brightest one in the lineup. You know, picking a line should definitely be more about strength and durability, stretch if you're talking about monofilament line, resistance, abrasion strength, not glowability. But this is a fun test, and for those of us who like to fish at night under black lights, you like to see that line go out there from the pole, it's definitely worth a look to see which one glows the brightest. I've put links to all the fishing lines in this video in the description and links to the black lights so you can go check it out. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would share the video out. It might help some people. And make sure you hit that bell button so you know the next time that I go live or I drop a video. Until next time, everybody, happy fishing.